Hey guys, welcome to another review with 6 gear wheels, and I'm CJ, your host. And today right here we have the Mahindra XUV700, or some would say XUV700, and this right here is the top of the range, being the Ax7L. It's quite a long name. So let's get into it. Coming up front, you can tell that Mahindra is going for a more prestigious, luxurious look. So they've changed the whole front end compared to the XUV500, which is this car's predecessor. So up front, we do have a front camera with the new Mahindra logo. And hey, I have a lot to tell you about that. And we have our radar sensor right there, because this car does have autonomous driving, but we'll get into that as we're driving. To the side, coming along in front here, we have we have our LED daytime running lights, and they're kind of similar to the ones from the Renault Koleos, but I like them because it also has this sequential indicator turn thingy, so it's really nice. It's a nice touch. And then coming along to the side, so this car is equipped with 18-inch alloy rims, and it does have quite a chunky tire. It's not a problem, but I really feel like, the car could use a more luxurious wheel, Like, this wheel is okay, but, judging this car's features, it's a nice wheel. Coming along to the side mirror, it has a fully LED turn signal with an inbuilt camera right there. And then, yeah, man, overall, I like the whole side profile design with the body cladding and everything. Proportions are actually great, and this car's party trick has to be this Tesla Range Rover. I like door handles, which are actually amazing. I really like these door handles. They're actually like the party piece of this car. Coming along to the rear, we do have our fully LED daytime tail lights, and our XUV700 badging and Ax7L badging over here to state that it is indeed a 7-seater. We do have a reverse camera over here and parking sensors with, of course, a tow bar. Obviously you won't have luggage. And unfortunately we do not get, we do not get electric operated tailgate, but it is manual operated. It's not really that heavy since the boot itself is made out of plastic. So yeah, and this is where the Ax7L comes into place. This car is indeed a 7-seater. While we're here, let's face boot space basically. So boot space with all 7 seats up ain't really that good. It's not really that good. I mean, you could fit in your daily plastic bags, school bags, So yeah, that's about it. I mean, I can sit comfortably. It's quite nice. So yeah, that's about it. But let's jump into the interior and I'll tell you more about this car. So you join me inside the interior of the Mahindra XUV700, or 700 as I would like to say it. And starting things off, let's start off with the key. This is the key over here, and it has quite a premium feeling to it, The same key that you get in the XUV300 video. If you haven't watched that, link is in the bio. But yeah, man, it's quite a very pleasant interior to be in because of this semi-white leather seats that it's covered in. At first I had a whole love-hate relationship with them, but as time went, I kind of gave them a wipe down, and I found out that they're actually easy to clean. So I actually love them because they also make the interior pop. Coming down to the center console, this car is packed with features. So up front we have a 10.25-inch screen that has a ton of features, and when I mean a ton of features, it has a ton of features. So we have your standard connectivity, which is your Android Auto. I'm not so sure about Apple CarPlay, but I think the latest update does have the Apple CarPlay thing. And we have a whole a whole fab of apps basically in this thing. It's a very responsive screen. We also have menus such as Fun with XUV700 that will come at work now. That'll show you, your torque and the amount of power. It's a really nice touch. We see this kind of things in your sports cars or your hot hatches. So I really like that. And down here we do have a swivel wheel to control everything. So if you're driving, you can just hit. It's similar to the one that you get in the BMW and the Mazda. So yeah, you can basically use this. It does have a pre-configured button that you can use as a shortcut to launch certain things. You can either. So I've programmed it to launch this whole home screen or infotainment system thing where you can play your radio and so forth and so forth. And yeah, that's about it. There's a whole lot of features like the settings for the car. Everything is in here. I think it also has a gallery and a few other apps, but some of the apps don't actually work. I think they're actually carried over from India, such as this horoscope app. So you just launch it and nothing happens. Would have been cool if it worked, but it is what it is. So, and then up front we also do have our dual zone climate control with shortcut buttons, as I mentioned, such as this camera button over here that will launch your rear view camera or your 3D camera, because this car does have a 360 camera system, which is actually a nice touch. And then as for charging, you do have a wireless pad and 2 USB ports right there, and of course with an electronic operated handbrake. Up front we also have another display over here, so it's basically in the same housing. And I have to say, I like this whole setup. It's really amazing. It's similar to the one that you get in the Mercedes. So on the steering wheel we do have your multimedia controls such as your volume. On the right we do have your cruise control systems, which this car is equipped with adaptive cruise control, and it does work. It does work. It does keep you in lane. It's actually amazing. Coming up in front, so basically, my words. So basically, I found myself being lost in this menu, getting lost in this whole menu, because you have a whole lot of sub menus to go through, such as your display. You can change the layout of the display to a whole lot. You can change it to, you can customize it to your liking, basically. So it does show you quite a lot, and I think I mentioned it in front. And then we also have a start button, which is actually amazing. And then on the seats right here, the front driver's seat is electrically operated, so I can basically move it to the back, front, down, and adjust my lumbar and so forth. And then it's one touch automatic for the driver and fully automatic and fully electric for the passengers. We have what Mahindra calls a sky roof, which is really massive. I really like it. This has to be one of the other party tricks of this car. So yeah, it's an amazing sunroof. Oh, how can I forget? Obviously, when you're driving, you do need a bit of some sound. So this car in particular is equipped with the Sony sound system, and this is a 12-speaker sound system, and it does pump. Trust me when I say it does pump. You'd be listening to your favorite artists in this car, and you'd hear beats that you never thought are there in a song, because yeah, sound system is immaculate. With that being said, let's jump into the back seats and let's talk more about the back seats. So you guys join me in the back seat of the Mahindra XUV700, and starting things off, let's start off with headroom. Headroom is fairly decent, even though this car is equipped with the panoramic sunroof. Headroom is fairly decent. Legroom, it's more than enough. I mean, I could fit behind my driving position absolutely just fine. So I don't think most of the people actually have a problem back here. We do have a cup holder over here and map pockets. Also, it also does have a reading light for those people that like to read on those long journeys, And then as for connectivity, we do have a single port, which is the Type C port. So I'm guessing that they expect that the youth will be sitting back here. So yeah, I mean, I would like it if it was two, but it's one. So I guess the rear passengers will have to fight for that. And then we do have some ventilation over here for the rear passengers. And one thing I like about this bench is that you can actually recline it if you want to get comfortable, and if there's basically nobody in the rear seats, you can actually recline it and get comfortable and yeah, relax, take a nap. We also have two cup holders over there, and that's basically about it in this second row of seats. Let's jump into the third row of seats and see how things are back there. This is basically how you get into the third row of seats. So there's a lever over here, and the front seat, the middle seat actually bounces forward, you need to say. So let me jump inside. Alright, so I'm in the back seats of the XUV700, and basically you can fit an adult basically back here. You do have a cup holder for the rear passengers and an aircon outlet basically, which the rear passengers can actually control it from the right side. And yeah, man, it's fairly comfortable. The seats are a bit upright, but I think I can recline them if there's nothing in the boot with a lever. Yeah, just to get a bit more comfortable, Leg room is fairly decent in here. I can, if you slouch, you can actually make it. So yeah, I can last a fair trip, about 300 to 200 k's. I can last that long, and this rear seat's absolutely fine. With that being said, let's jump back to the driver's seat and let's talk about how this car drives. Alright, so you join me inside the interior of the Mahindra XUV700, and from the get-go, let's start it off with the oily bits. Under the hood, you have a 2-liter turbocharged engine putting out 149 kilowatts and 380 newton meters of torque, which is a lot. Okay, not really a lot, but it does move this vehicle quite well. It pulls whenever you want it to pull. It's very responsive. I've found the throttle response very responsive. And yeah, man, it's mated to a 6-speed automatic gearbox, which I haven't necessarily had complaints about it. It's been an alright gearbox, It shifts whenever you want it to shift. It holds gears whenever you want it to hold gears. Overall, I like the drive of the car. The suspension feels really, you feel well insulated from the outside world, So I really like that about the car. The only downside that I only experienced, or the only minor issue that I had was wind noise from the A-pillars. Sometimes you would experience wind noise from the A-pillars, but the Sony system does a good job of cancelling out that wind noise, so it's not really much of a problem. Coming down to fuel consumption, I'm not really a fan of this car's fuel consumption. I've seen... Okay, so how this car calculates fuel consumption, it gives you kilometers per liter. The most I've achieved on an open road was 14 kilometers per liter. I'll put it up as to what it translates per 100 k's. So, and in town I've seen like 9 k's per liter. It's a bit heavy on fuel. That's the only downside, but nonetheless, if you have the money for fuel, then I don't think that would be a problem. I mean, after all, you are kind of saving as to when it comes to compared to what they're asking for, basically the asking price of this car. So yeah, man, I mean, also for the features, because this car is stacked with features. It has level 1 autonomous driving, which includes your blind spot monitoring assist, your lane departure warning, you know, your collision detection, and your adaptive cruise control, which is really amazing. Hey, I tried that out on a road trip and I actually enjoyed the adaptive cruise control system thing. It actually steers and does everything for you. You know, you do not have to, obviously you have to keep your hands on the wheel, but you do not have to make like those minor adjustments, brake, accelerate, or just steer when it's unnecessary. So it'll keep you in lane and do what it says on the tin, you know. So I actually like that about the car. And as for the ride comfort, it's very comfortable. This car is super comfortable. I took it out on gravel road. It's not this car's scene, it's more of the Scorpio N scene, but you know, I took it out on gravel. It handled fairly well. I mean, you can once in a while, for those once in a while moments, you can try it out. But on the open road, on tarmac, absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. I had no complaints whatsoever when it came to that. So yeah, man, overall I really like the car, and I think it's a decent purchase. If you have 560, yeah, if you have 560,000 rand, please do buy this vehicle, because yeah, you know, it's the one. It's the one. It's the one. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. Please stay tuned, like, share and subscribe, and yeah, I'm signing out.